How does scarcity lead to spending? Well, in this article written by Maya Skalatovitz that she wrote on January 21st of 2013, talks about the economics being uncertain of how people save money or how they spend it, what they spend it on. They say that a lot of it depends on all of your childhood experiences, how you were raised, whether you was raised in poverty or if your family had money. Let's see here. Sometimes poverty is hard to escape once you're in it. But if you think about it, some of the people that are in poverty are there because of the way that they do spend their money, and they tend to gamble what they have. It's like they live for one day at a time and don't worry about the future. And then you have a different type of social group that grew up with wealth. They could have went in one direction of spending all their money because they had unlimited supply to it, or them being raised up in a household of having money could have forced them into more, let me hang on to this, let me see what my benefits are further in the future, just do without. I can do without. They ran several different tests to see what the outcomes were on childhood experiences about poverty. They had asked some people that if they would rather prefer to receive a small amount of money, or would they rather have a larger amount in the future? Like, I'll give you $10 today, or if you wait until the experiment's over, we'll give you about $50. Well, between a guaranteed reward of a small amount of cash, some of them gambled. They wanted the money now so that they could spend it. And then, of course, some of the other ones were gambling, to wait and see, what they were going to get, after the testing was over. It's crazy how the way that we were raised really sets us up for life, to see how we will survive if there is things that are scarce that we can't get our hands on. People that's living in poverty, they spend what they have. Maybe the middle class is more like, I'm going to hang on to what I got so I can survive. If something does come up, that's kind of how I am. I want to be able to take care of myself and not have to depend on somebody else. So I'm not much of a gambler. And of course, that's because of the way that I was raised. They ran some more tests. Trying to remember. They were talking about things that you buy, like if some people were willing to, if they had the money, if they had $200, if they were willing to go ahead and spend it on something expensive, like buying a watch or a piece of jewelry or a fancy pair of shoes, or if you had plenty of money, you could buy a new car or a house. And in the experiment, they was wanting to find out whether people would just go ahead and blow that money, and go ahead and buy the extravagant things, and see how many people was willing to save it, for a scarce time. I believe that either way that any of us are, that we will survive one way or another, because us that save are going to help those ones that dive in there and gamble. That's just the way that us humans are. And that usually comes from because people grew up and didn't have nothing, and so when they do get their hands on money, they want to spend it because they didn't have it growing up as a child. That's why I truly believe that kids that grew up kind of like in the middle class, where they could have some things and then they couldn't have certain things, compared to families that had a lot of money and they were given everything that they wanted. Money was no object. And then there's the poverty level, that if they got cash, they're like, I'm going to go spend it. I need to get this, because they're without things, unlike the middle class. So they're going to go out there and they're going to get what they need and just gamble on it. And who's to say which lifestyle is really the one that's going to survive if we have things that are scarce in the world? Is it going to be money? Is it going to be money from the rich people? Is it going to be the middle class that saves their money and is real picky about how they spend stuff? Or are the people that are in poverty that just goes ahead and spends what they've got? Who says which one's better than the other? Money's great, but then again, in the poverty level, no, I don't think I'd want to be there either. But life is short, and I truly believe that that's how poverty people look at it that way. Each level of people, with their financial decisions that they make, it messes with the evolutionary development that scientists are studying on, trying to get a deeper understanding of why people get caught up in the cycle of poverty. And I have a friend that grew up in poverty, and now he has money, and he does nothing but blow his money all the time. He don't save any money because he's like, I never had anything and I have it now and I'm going to have it. So I really don't know what the answer is. Hardships, gambling, is who's going to survive? I really don't know the answer to that. And I guess that's why they're doing studies on this. Anyways, that's my opinion on scarcity. And thank you.